Let the folks on Metro Nashville Network know we're getting ready to start. And the sound of that phone just reminded me of my first announcement. If you would, please, put your phone on silent or turn it off or one of the above so as not to interrupt today's proceedings. The board would appreciate it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Board of Zoning Appeals is now in session for its regularly scheduled meetings of both October the 16th and November the 6th, 2025. I'm Joey Hargis, the Metro Zoning Administrator, and I'll be presenting the cases for review in today's public hearing. Again, the procedure today will be to introduce the case record as the Codes Administration has it, and we'll do so on the wall here by means of a PowerPoint presentation. We'll present any photographs, sketches, or any site plans that we may have received. After my presentation, first the applicant will come up to the table there. There's 4 seats in front of the board. You'll have a microphone that looks similar to mine. They're right in the middle of the base of it. There's a button that says push. If you'll hit that, there's a little green light. Microphone base that'll turn green and you're ready to speak. And when you get done talking, just push that button again to turn it off. The board's empowered to act in the cases before us today is outlined in section 1740-180 of the Metro Code of Law. The law requires that 4 members of this 7-member board be present to constitute a quorum. We do have 5 members present today. So for cases to be approved, you will need 4 out of these 5 members to approve your case for it to be granted. If in the event the case does not get 4 affirmative votes, your case will stay on our agenda for the next 30 days. We will have one more meeting in 30 days. That's on December the 4th. Your case will get picked up on that agenda, and hopefully we'll have enough members to get a deciding vote one way or the other. I'm going to go through all cases. The board will go through all cases set on today's public hearings and the agendas that we've provided you over on the table on the side here. Let's see. But before we begin, I do have, the board does allow council members to address the board. I do see 1 council member present. Are there any other council members? Oh, 2 council members present, sorry. Council members, if you would like to come forward, either of you. Yeah, you can wait for the case, certainly. How about you, Councilman Cash?
I'd like to go ahead.
Okay, come. Wherever you'd like.
Hey, thank you, and I'll try to be quick. I know you've got a lot to talk about. I've got 4 cases today, and 3 of them are fence cases, and 1 is a sign case. And I am feeling a little bit like I'm being called upon to be a visibility expert, and I've gone to 3 of these and do feel fairly good about the visibility. But I don't know that I've kind of come to a point where I don't know that I want to be replaced for a visibility expert. So 116 is, which actually says District 21, but it's mine, is Frothy Monkey. They've had a sign in front of their property that has been there for decades. Something happened along 12th Avenue and a bunch of folks got like sign violation notices, and you may have already had some, and there may be some others coming. I feel pretty good about this. It's in the middle of the block, so I don't think it's like an intersection visibility issue at all. It's been there for at least a decade or 2, and hasn't been an issue, so I'm supportive of that. 117 is on Belmont Boulevard, and it is a sign bill. Ms. Rostorcher, there was one like across Ashwood from her 2 meetings ago maybe that was a variance was granted, and this, I think hers is there's good visibility. It's been there for a long time, well before she bought the property, and I feel pretty good about that one. 123 is Belmont University has a new preschool that serves some of their employees and some in the community. This one is a new fence, and I know there's been an email or 2 about with concerns about it. I have talked to Belmont and Mr. Cooper, their representative, and they are good with a deferral so that we can try to work out some of the issues. This is kind of two like important groups. The preschool, I'm very supportive of preschools, and they need to have for their playground a privacy fence. And the space for that playground is in the front, getting close to the street. Also, we have on 12th Avenue a state-of-the-art, and the folks love to brag about it, as I do, a bicycle lane, or a complete street with some great, well-protected bicycle lanes. And kind of these, I want safety for both parties, and so I think we would like to take a little time, discuss it, maybe see if NDOT can chime in about visibility, and see if there's something that can be worked out to make more visibility happen. And then the last one is 124, which is on Halcyon, a business on Halcyon. I haven't, it's not built yet, so I haven't seen, I looked at plans, but I haven't seen a physical structure. It seems like where it sticks out more, it's in the middle of the property and not at the intersection. So that would seem to be like speaking to good visibility or not visibility problems. But I've only looked at the drawings, and I don't feel really strongly that I can come to a conclusion about that. If you all feel that there are no visibility issues, I'm fine with it. All right. And I want to add that I know you all, and I've been learning in the last month that you all have gotten a lot of fence appeal cases in recent months and years. I know another council member, and I'm planning on helping her, has sponsored a bill to do fence permitting, and will grandfather some in the past unless NDOT finds that there is a visibility issue. So maybe in the future, I think the fence permitting bill is called the white whale of council legislation. Others have tried, but I think that would be a good process, and in real cases where there are visibility issues, NDOT can chime in, and we're going to work on a process for that. So maybe in the near future, you won't have as many fence appeal cases, and I hope that happens. Thank you all.
And Councilman, so 116, 117, and 124 are on consent, so unless there's opposition here, those are going to be approved.
Okay.
Just so you know. Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate
thanks.
it.
All right, Councilmember Evans said she'd wait until the case, so that's case 114, and so we'll get to that in just a moment. But as the chair announced, there is a consent agenda, and ladies and gentlemen, what a consent agenda means are these next cases that I call. These are cases in which the chair has reviewed the case, and if, in his opinion, it meets all the criteria for the application they've requested, and he feels that material testimony would not alter the material facts of the case, he recommends the cases for consent to the other board members. The cases that I'm going to call out now, these case numbers, if you're here in opposition and only opposition to the case, so only if you're opposed to a case, raise your hand if I call these numbers out, okay? So our first case recommended for the consent agenda is the case 2025-104 on page 1. It's Jamie Baker, 1501 Robinson Road, Robinson Road, requesting a special exception for kennel. Are there any parties present in opposition to case 104 on Robinson Road, page 1? Mr. Chairman, let the record reflect there are no hands. The next case recommended for the consent agenda is case on page 2, case 2025-105. Wojciech Krupka, the appellant, 1021 Meadowbrook LLC, the appellant of the owners at 605 Shady Lane, requesting a variance to allow the parking RS75. Is there any parties in opposition to case 105 present? Mr. Chairman, seeing none. The next case recommended for consent is case 2025-107, Alexandria Crawford, the appellant, Josephine Phelps, owner of the property at 1807 Shelby Avenue, requesting a special exception for a child daycare in the R6 district. Are there any parties here in opposition to case 107 on Shelby Avenue? Mr. Chairman, let the record reflect seeing none. The next case recommended for consent is case 2025-108, Mr. Joseph Watson, the appellant and owner of the property at 5105 Idaho Avenue, requesting an item D appeal, which is a change of a legally non-conforming structure in RS5. Are there any parties here in opposition to case 108? Mr. Chairman, let the record reflect, seeing none. Next case recommended for consent agenda is on page 3, is case 2025-110. Trey Spelta is the appellant, David Smith, the owner of the property at 400 West Trinity Lane, requesting an item D appeal, which is a change to a legally non-conforming use in the CL district. Are there any parties present in opposition to case 110? Mr. Chairman, seeing none. Okay. We'll move on then to page 5. The next case recommended for consent is case 2025-113, Nicholas Buchanan, appellant and owner of the property at 4211 Nevada Avenue, requesting a variance in the side setback requirements in RS5. Are there any parties present in opposition to case 113? Mr. Chairman, let the record reflect, seeing none. The next case recommended for consent is on page 6. Case 2025-115, Philip Marcetta, the appellant, Siegel Properties owner, 1198 Montgomery Avenue, requesting a variance in the side setbacks in an SP district. Are there any parties present in opposition to case 115? Mr. Chairman, seeing none. The next case recommended for consent is case 2025-116. The Frothy Monkey is the appellant, Kimberly Fennell and Treg Warner, the owners of the property at 2509 12th Avenue South, requesting a variance in street setbacks for an existing sign. Are there any parties present in opposition to case 116? Mr. Chairman, seeing none. The next case recommended for consent is case 2025-117. Ms. Heather Rossduscher is the appellant owner of property 2201 Belmont Boulevard, requesting a variance for fence height and setback for the existing fence on the property. Is there anyone in opposition present case 117? Mr. Chairman, seeing none. The next case recommended for the consent agenda is on page 7, case 2025-118, Mr. Ryan Galmont, the owner and appellant of the property at 1204 Kenmore Place, requesting a variance in side setback in RS 7.5. Are there any parties present in opposition to case 118 on page 7? Mr. Chairman, seeing no hands. Next case recommended for consent is also on page 7, case 2025-120, Josh Boyd is the appellant and owner of 1829 Joe Johnston Avenue, requesting a variance for the allowable floor area to be used for medical office. Are there any parties present in opposition to case 120 on page 7 at 1829 Joe Johnston? Mr. Chairman, seeing none. Turning now to page 8. Case recommended for the consent agenda on page 8 is 2025-121 Jody Gables, the appellant, Cheyenne MHC LP, the owner of the property is located at 500 Cheyenne Boulevard, requesting a variance in street setbacks to construct a ground sign. Is there anyone in opposition to case 121 present? Mr. Chairman, seeing none. And then finally, last case on the agenda, page 9, case 2025-124, Word Car Design Group, 20th Century Real Estate Corp., the owner, 1119 Halcyon Avenue, requesting a variance for fence height in the CS zone district. Are there any parties present in opposition to case 124? Okay, seeing none. Members, let me recap numbers for you. Cases recommended for consent are cases 104, 105, 107, 108, 110, 113, 115, 116, 117, 118, 120, 121, and 124.
Is that all the numbers? Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to approve consent.
Okay, second. Okay, there's a motion, a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, consent agenda passes.
Okay, what just happened? So if you were here, it may actually be easier for me to read the cases not approved or not on consent. So let me take it in reverse order. If you were here for case 109 at 1020 3rd Avenue South, or you were here for case 112 at 1205 Linden Avenue, or case 114 at 631 Old Lebanon Dirt Road, if you're here for any of those three cases, stay in the room. We will have hearings on those cases. If you're here for any other case than those three, you're free to leave. Your cases have been approved. Follow up with the codes department beginning on Monday and finish up any permitting that you need to do, any sign-offs that you need, and we'll issue the permits once you get those done. So, all right, just recapping again, if you're here for cases 104, 105, 107, 108, 110, 113, 115, 116, 117, 118, and 120. You are free to go. Mr. Chairman, if we could take just a brief recess, let me get the room cleared.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Answer any questions too that
Sure.
folks may have.
We'll take 5. 'Cause he needs to answer some questions.
All right, Mr. Chairman, so our first case we'll hear today is case 2025-109. Mr. Dwayne Cuthbertson's the appellant on behalf of GCS Properties LLC, the owner of the property located at 1020 3rd Avenue South, requesting special exception to allow for street rear setback encroachments and building height in the CS zone district. The applicant's seeking to build a new multifamily mixed-use development. Referred to the board under section 17-16-030, the appellant has alleged jurisdiction under section 1740, 180 item C. Again, final call, or is there any opposition? We did have a community gentleman here to talk about some conditions they've discussed, but are there any other parties present for case 109? Okay, let me go through photographs first. Excuse me, a subject site. This case, members, is, as the slide currently shows, this was originally scheduled for our October 16th agenda. We did not have a quorum for that case, so that case was moved till today. All right, and computer will work with me here. All right, again, the address of the property. Got got a little bit ahead of myself on the thing. The subject property is located, if you can see my cursor moving right about here on 3rd Avenue. This is 4th Avenue, the city cemetery to the west, 2nd Avenue to the east. And these are views into the subject property on my visit on October the 6th. Again, this view is from 3rd Avenue, and then the remainder of the subject property that's there. And then the appellant, that may be, hopefully I can change the lighting in here just a bit. I'm sure the folks in the back are kind of hoping I don't take too much of the lighting down. If that helps with your screen view, at least the big screen, for folks to kind of see the building massing, the proposed massing on the left-hand side, the building massing that the zoning code permits on the right-hand side. Again, this is a special exception. You did receive a recommendation from the Planning Commission. Recommendation was the disapproval on that, and Mr. Michael has passed out his brief to you all. So, yeah, Mr. Michael, I'll turn it over to you. You've got 5 minutes to present. The gentleman's alerted me that you have met with some neighborhood folks and worked out some conditions that you'd like to work in. So we'll treat this as an unopposed case. With that, you'll have 5 minutes to present.
Thank you, Mr. Hargis. John Michael, Thompson Burton Law Firm, 1801 West End Avenue, here with my client, longtime friend Dwayne Cuthbertson, on the project at 1020 3rd Avenue South. The request, as you know, is for special exceptions. I lead with that just to differentiate, of course, from the variance requests that are more frequently associated with setback relief. But in this case, both the sky plane issue and the setback issue are both special exceptions. Therefore, we have to demonstrate to you that we meet the identified criteria from the zoning code, and with that, it becomes at that point, if the board should determine that we've met those criteria, a by right scenario no longer subject to discretion, and of course, just from the front end, not subject to any analysis of questions of hardship. With this, I'll start with the sky plane relief topic. As you know, the sky plane is a 1.5 to 1 ratio most of the places that it applies, and that's the case here in the CS zoning district. Based upon the depth of the lot, we would be able to get out to something like 125 vertical feet by right on that project. Nobody's seeking that. I think that would be close to 9 stories. This is instead, at its highest point, 28 feet below the height limit in that 1.5 to 1 ratio. 28 feet, roughly the size of a house. So we're trimming that off the top, even at the highest point. But the request is to bring more of the massing forward to the street frontage in order to create, number one, a higher quality design with more aesthetic value to the neighborhood and to the people who will want to live here. And number two, more functionality in terms of the way that the programming inside the 4 walls of the building can be utilized, thus creating a better efficient flow for the people who live within the 4 walls of the building. The criteria here under 1712.060, which is the section of the zoning code that allows a special exception for relief from that sky plane restriction, get into the traditional language about air, light, and wind based on the configuration of the building. Here, we believe that what we propose to be an improved design of the building actually creates no difference in the air, light, and wind that would otherwise be in place with the less traditional pyramid or wedding cake style building that the code specifically contemplates. Many, if not all, of our board members may recall the building at the intersection of Hillsborough Pike and Overhill in the Green Hills neighborhood. That carefully complies with the sky plane restrictions, and for many has become something of a talisman of the basis or want for relief from that strict application of the law. Secondly, this section of code requires that we demonstrate that the building height contributes to a strong pedestrian streetscape. This not only does not have a detrimental effect, it has an overtly positive effect by activating the streetscape more, creating more access to the building from the sidewalks, and of course any redevelopment is going to trigger into any of the sidewalk requirements in place from the Metropolitan government, thus creating, by its very existence, an improved pedestrian streetscape experience. We believe that we meet all those conditions easily under 1712.060. But of course, the board knows there's also the general language from 1716-150. We believe we meet all of those enumerated conditions from the general provisions. Sometimes people ask about integrity of adjacent area in particular, but that language talks about health and safety of the immediate area and long-term uses allowed by adjacent properties. Nothing about our design, the by right design, or any other design would have a detrimental effect on those items. Moving quickly into the setback discussion, we note that the Metro zoning code requires 15-foot street setback and 20-foot rear in this area. If this project was in fact to go through a rezoning, it'd probably be an SP, and if it was an SP, it's entirely likely that this lot would be zeroed out, because that would be the way to obviously maximize the square footage, but also enhance the streetscape. In this instance, we want to leave 5-foot setbacks at the rear and at the street frontages. So relief is required and allowed under 1712-035D. Here, again, no adverse impact on adjacent properties to shorten those setbacks. And additionally, this is part of promoting and not detracting from a strong pedestrian environment. On those points, we believe we meet both of the conditions called out by the zoning code. And then finally, with the general provisions here, again, integrity of adjacent areas, design compatibility. This will actually, we believe, do nothing to detract from, and in fact, help promote the streetscape experience for pedestrians. We believe that through the memo, through our short presentation here today, we've demonstrated we meet all the needed criteria. I am joined by the representative for the project, Dwayne Cuthbertson. I know that you may have questions. Some of those will be perfect for him. We acknowledge the note from planning, which talks about what their policy calls for, not what the law allows. They'd love to see a 3 or 4 story building. The law allows us to go up to about 8 or 9, and we're trying to keep it less than that with better messing and better design. Additionally, we have the feedback from, I think you've got some letters in your, or emails in your file. We note the support from some, we note the questions from others, and we're happy to help addressing those questions today.
How many stories is your client proposing?
Dwayne, you want to
I
take
can answer that. So you should have a revised exhibit in front of you that articulates the building height control plane. It allows up to 124.5 feet. We're asking to the top of the building 96 feet.
Right.
The
It looks
parapets are allowed to extend into those height control planes by code.
Is it 9 stories or 8 stories?
It's 8 stories. I like to articulate it as 7.5 because that 8th story is set back. It should not be visible from the street.
Okay. And planning recommends approval with the condition you limit it to 4 stories. I guess you're not okay with that since you planned it out at 8 stories. Is that fair to say?
I think that's a fair assumption. Yes, sir.
Okay.
They
All
did
right.
not have an issue with the setback relief, just the height. But I don't think in that memo they acknowledged that the height control plane allows us to go up to 124 feet.
And Mr. Chairman, we always try to delineate that planning is doing its job when they give you a recommendation based on what policy says for the area.
Right.
So we don't want that to come across like we're being critical of the recommendation of theirs. We're delighted that they recommend approval of the setback. And as to the sky plane, we understand the basis by which their strike zone, by which they call balls and strikes, is from the policy. The law, of course, allows something much more in this instance.
Gotcha, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, we'll close the public hearing and discuss. Well, I mean, the thing I see is it's a special exception, and I see that planning is weighing in on it, but that's not, one of the criteria isn't, I mean, we listen to what planning says, obviously, and especially if they point something out and that goes to one of the elements that prevents the special exception. I mean, they don't come out too strongly about it's going to detrimentally affect the neighborhood, what they say, and that's really, as I understand it, the standard is it's not that it gets denied because it's not suitable and the best. It's if it detrimentally affects the neighborhood, and what I'm seeing them saying is they just kind of prefer that it be 4 stories because it's more suitable for the neighborhood. So that's what, to me, looking at, if it was a variance, I think obviously we'd be looking at it different, but anyway, that's my way I see it right now. My ears are open. Or maybe I should open my mouth for a motion. Okay, so, all right, well, I'll make a motion that we approve the special exception.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion, a second. All in favor? Oh, excuse me, any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Okay, that passes. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Okay, now beginning into cases regularly scheduled for today on the November 6th agenda. Our next case, public hearing, will be case 2025-112 at 1205 Linden Avenue. Is the applicant present? First call, last call? All right, Mr. Chairman, we will Mr. Chairman, let's do this on this particular case. If you're okay, can we defer this one meeting?
Anybody, I have no problem with that. Does anybody have a problem deferring it? Yep, that's, do we need to vote on it, or do we?
No, sir.
Okay.
As long as you're comfortable with it, I'll just go ahead and
All right,
reschedule.
so that, 112 is deferred till next
112 will
meeting.
postpone till 12/4.
Okay.
Given the unusual nature of our agenda today, there may have been some confusion that perhaps the cases scheduled for today may not have started on time, so.
Gotcha.
If that's the case, then we'll move on to our final public hearing of the day. This will be case 2025-114. Mr. Dean Patel is the appellant in the Gujarat, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Cultural Association is the owner of the property at 631 Old Lebanon Dirt Pike Road, requesting a special exception to allow for a cultural center. This is referred to the board under section 1716-170. The appellant has alleged jurisdiction under 1740-180 item C. I know we do have opposition present, so I'll reset the clock and to 10 minutes per side. And one thing I forgot to cover in my opening announcements, the public hearings today, you'll see that clock that's over to the right of where they're sitting. Each side of the case, so the applicant gets 10 minutes to tell their argument, and the opposition, you all get 10 minutes as a group to tell the story. So if you've got multiple folks that want to talk, divide your time up, just be sure one speaker doesn't take all 10 minutes. You want to split that time amongst yourselves. The folks at the table here will have an opportunity to rebut your testimony, so they'll get a chance to come back and speak after you're done. And the Councilmember Evans, you wanted to go after the applicant, is that correct? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, the reason I asked, the board has, probably since you've been here last, the board changed their rules of procedure, even for council members that may be opposed or in support of an opposition. Your time will count toward the 10 minutes. Yes, ma'am. So depend on. Yeah, if you're for the request, if the neutral convener, I'll let the board. Obviously, we can work out the time. Yes, ma'am. All right, so let me go through the slide first, the photographs and such that were submitted to the board. All right, as I said, that's the address of the property. This was a site plan submitted by the applicant for the proposed location. Remind board members, this originally came to the board in 2023 and was approved by the board. And I've got a copy of the board's order up here. I can show you at that time. Sorry, it's a bit not ideally legible, but on December the 7th of 2023, the special exception for this use was approved, subject to NDOT's approval of a supplemental traffic study at that time. And as you notice, the date was December the 8th. These gentlemen would have to obtain the building permit before December 8th of this year for this 2023 approval to remain valid. So they do still have approval till December the 8th of this year. However, they're not going to be able to obtain their permit before December the 8th, and that approval expires. So that's why they're back here asking you for approval previously.
Is there any way you can turn your mic up?
I wish I could. I don't think I've got.
I'm having a hard time hearing.
I will do my best to see if I can raise that. Hopefully, I'll bring it closer to me. It looks like that'll probably help there. Hey, look at there. Yes, ma'am. Hey, I understand. All right. Let's see. So as I said, the original case was approved back December the 7th of 2023. They have an approval granted for 2 years, special exceptions. That approval expires on December the 8th of this year, meaning they would have to obtain their building permit. They will not be able to get that permit before December the 8th. So that's why they're coming back to you seeking approval for an additional 2-year period. Okay. So this is the site plan that was submitted. Currently, the property, not much to show you on the lot. It's a wooded tract of land that's out there currently. But they were proposing a main entrance which would come off in alignment with the road directly across that you see where my cursor is. And then a subsequent ingress, egress, exit, most likely required by the fire marshal's office to get into the site. The parking spaces proposed 280 parking spaces along the front portion of the lot, 347 toward the rear, and then the building itself would be constructed that you see where my cursor's turning in this location. Oops, lost a page. There we go. These were are the elevations submitted by the applicant, in this case, the proposed design and appearance of the building. And again, subject property is located, these parcels right here. Davidson Elementary Schools to the northeast. That alignment that I was talking about is entrance would align with this road that you see here. And then Tulip Grove Road's located to the east. But I'll leave that here. Again, they are seeking approval for a special exception to allow the construction of this cultural center. And before we begin, I would ask applicants just verify that you did hold a neighborhood meeting with the neighbors, and I believe we've got record of that. Is that correct, Christy? Okay.
We had reached out to Ms. Evans prior in 2023. We had had a meeting with the neighborhood, and then we had another neighborhood meeting. Ms. Evans had emailed out to the neighbors. We didn't have a neighborhood meeting on this round, but Ms. Evans says that we didn't need that
Wait.
one on this round.
I'm going to have to stop you. You did not have a hearing. You haven't had a neighborhood meeting prior to today in this cycle?
No, sir.
All right,
not on
Mr.
this
Chairman, by court order, actually, in a prior case, we're going to have to postpone this meeting. A neighborhood meeting is required for all special exceptions before this board.
Okay.
And so we will not have a hearing today.
Sure.
12-4. Okay. Mr. Chairman, if we would, in our rules, they're going to have to send out a notice. The soonest I can get them back here would be December the 4th.
Sure.
That mail list that we sent you, in which the notice is, you'll need to resend out a notice to the neighbors and hold a community meeting before the next Board of Zoning Appeals meeting.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman,
not a problem at all.
procedurally, I don't need a motion to defer. We'll have to postpone this till December the 4th.
Thank you. And
All
I
right.
apologize, we were just going off of council.
Yeah,
moments,
that's
so.
okay. It's just misunderstanding, yeah. And just for the council member too, we had a case once, it's been probably 10 years or so ago, that when the board put this requirement in their rules, they didn't hold a neighborhood meeting, and the board went ahead and proceeded. And we had a neighbor sue, and the court overturned the approval because they didn't hold the neighborhood meeting as required. So
Yep.
that's, with that will adjourn our meeting for today. And
Thank you.
that case will be heard. We'll pull it, and just for the folks that are here, it'll be December 4th, right in this room, 1 o'clock, same time. Yes, sir. That'd be on a third. That's a month. I hope so. Yeah. Well, 2 days of short. It will be a Thursday, yeah. It'll be a Thursday in here. But we won't send out a new letter to you noticing this hearing, but you'd all have to have a neighborhood meeting between now and then, so, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.